I remember the sound of the door closing more clearly than anything else. Not the argument. Not the accusations. Just the click of the lock. At 18, you think being thrown out of your house will feel dramatic. Like a scene from a movie. In reality it felt strangely quiet. My mom stood in the hallway with her arms folded. My dad didn't look directly at me. My younger brother stood behind them, half hidden but watching closely. "You've caused enough trouble," my father said. I tried explaining again. I didn't take it. But the explanation had already expired. My brother had spoken first. His version had settled into the room before I could form a full sentence. The missing item, a watch my dad kept in his office, had apparently disappeared earlier that afternoon. My brother said he saw me leaving the room. That was enough. "You can come back when you're ready to tell the truth," my mom said. Which meant I couldn't come back at all. I grabbed a backpack from my room and walked out without saying anything else. Some arguments end because no one has anything left to say. Others end because you realize no one is actually listening. 2. The bus station was open all night. Fluorescent lights hummed above rows of plastic chairs. Travelers drifted in and out carrying suitcases and half-asleep expressions. I sat near a vending machine and tried to understand how an entire life could change in one evening. Mostly I kept replaying the same thought. They didn't even ask questions. Not one. Around 3 in the morning a janitor pushed a cart past me and nodded like he'd seen people sitting there for the same reason before. By morning I had a plan. A friend from school let me stay on his couch for a few weeks. I found part-time work at a warehouse loading delivery trucks. It wasn't glamorous, but it was stable. And stability, I learned quickly, matters more than comfort. The strange part was how quiet my family became. No calls, no messages. It was like the story had already been finalized. I had stolen something, refused to admit it, and left. My brother had always been the easier child to believe. He was younger, charming, good at saying the right thing at the right moment. By the time a month passed, the whole situation had started to feel distant. Like a chapter of my life that had ended abruptly. Then my grandfather called. "You should come to the barbecue this weekend," he said. I hesitated. "I'm not sure that's a great idea." "Just come," he said. He didn't explain why. But my grandfather wasn't the kind of person who made requests casually, so I went. The backyard looked exactly the same. Plastic chairs. A grill smoking quietly near the fence. My aunt arranging bowls of salad on a folding table. For a moment it felt like stepping into a place where time hadn't moved at all. My parents were there. They nodded when they saw me, but no one mentioned the night I left. It hung over the gathering anyway. My brother stood near the grill talking to 2 cousins. He looked relaxed. When he noticed me, he gave a small smile. "Look who showed up," he said. No one responded. A few minutes later the conversation drifted toward old family stories. The kind people tell when they're trying to avoid heavier topics. Then my brother said something that made the air tighten. "Hey," he said to the group, gesturing toward me. A couple of people shifted uncomfortably. The joke landed in that awkward place where no one wants to laugh, but no one interrupts either. That was when my grandfather walked over. He had been standing near the back door watching. In his hand was a small tablet. "Daniel," he said to my brother. My brother turned. "Yeah." My grandfather held the tablet out. "Take a look at this." My brother frowned and stepped closer. The screen played a short video clip. Security footage from the hallway outside my father's office. The camera showed my brother walking into the room earlier that afternoon. A few seconds later he came out, holding something small in his hand, the watch. The backyard went silent. My brother stared at the screen longer than necessary. My grandfather spoke calmly. "I had a feeling something about that story didn't add up," he said. No anger. Just quiet certainty. So I checked the camera system. My mother stepped forward slowly. "What is that?" My grandfather turned the screen so everyone could see. "This," he said, "is what actually happened." No one moved. My father's face had gone pale in a way I had never seen before. My brother tried to say something. I was going to put it back, but the explanation sounded thin even as he said it. My grandfather lowered the tablet. "Your brother spent a night in a bus station," he said. He didn't raise his voice. But the sentence landed harder than shouting would have. No one laughed now. My mother looked at me for the first time that afternoon. We didn't know," she said quietly. I nodded once. "I know." My father opened his mouth, like he wanted to say something else. But there are moments when apologies feel too small for the distance they're supposed to close. The barbecue continued eventually. People moved slowly, speaking in quieter voices. I stayed for another 20 minutes. Then I walked toward the gate. My grandfather caught up with me near the driveway. "You all right?" he asked. I thought about it for a second. "Yeah," I said. Not because everything had been fixed, but because the truth, once it finally appears, has a way of making the past feel less heavy to carry.